Hey, you're watching Man That's Cooking. And in this video, we're going to show you how to make the infamous slow cooker Mississippi pot roast. So you may have seen this recipe floating around the interwebs, and actually it's pretty good. And as always, we're going to modify this recipe a little bit. So we're going to add one medium-sized yellow onion, and this is not in the typical recipe, so maybe it's no longer Mississippi pot roast. But by adding this onion at the bottom, it's going to provide some liquid because you're not supposed to add much liquid to this recipe. And next we've got about a 3-pound chuck roast, and what you want to do is you want to sear it. So that's going to add some extra flavor. So take it out of the package, dry it down with paper towels, and then season it with a kosher salt and black pepper mixture. This is pretty much a 1-to-1 ratio. It's a little bit more on the salt side, but it's kosher salt and 16 mesh black pepper. And this may look like a lot of seasoning, but it's not. This is a big piece of meat, and it can handle it. So preheat a skillet on medium to medium high, somewhere in that range, and oil it down a little bit. Then you want to brown this chuck roast on both sides, about 4 to 5 minutes each, and if you can, try to get the edges as well. So of course, this step is optional. You don't have to do this, but it will add additional beefy flavor, and it only takes a few minutes. And if you're thinking this is going to overcook the roast, not at all. It might be a little hard to see here, but you could see it's still really raw in the inside the meat. You can see on the cracks as you're cooking it. So you're just getting the surface browned in flavor, but it's certainly very raw on the inside. And here's the first interesting ingredient. And you have to open it government style. You can't just take the clouds away. You gotta actually take the whole ranch away. And then, once you get it open, just like that, it's a Miami pot roast. And now for the next interesting ingredient, 1 pack of brown gravy. And it's important to put both the gravy and the ranch seasoning on top of this chuck roast. Why? I don't know. But that's how they do it in Mississippi. So next, this is the only liquid that we're going to add. And this is a 1/2 cup of the juice from the pepperoncini jar. And then we're going to add about 8 to 10 of these pepperoncinis, and we're going to put them on the side of the roast. Then you want to make Paula Deen smile and add 1 stick of unsalted butter. Now we found this to be a little too much. You could definitely cut back if you don't want that much butter. Then set your slow cooker on 8 hours and let it cook. So don't open the lid. You're going to let all the hot steam out. Just let it cook. Let it do its thing. And pot roast is great on mashed potatoes, and we're going to do quick and easy because this entire recipe is quick and easy. And if you don't like mashed potatoes, or maybe you ran out, Mississippi pot roast is good on white rice as well. So this burner is on a medium heat. You want to start out really hot and put in some butter and melt that down. And about 5 to 10 minutes or so, it's going to start to get really smooth. Go ahead and turn the heat down to low at that point. And you want to do this probably within the last 30 minutes of your cook, because when it's 8 hours, this is what you're going to get. Alright, well, it's not pretty. It kind of looks like maybe a Florida manatee that gave up the ghost about 4 days ago. And you can see that the liquid is kind of clear. So this is probably all the butter and probably the rendered fat and any water out of the onions. Alright, so let's try to break this down with a fork, and it is not fork tender. And some recipes on the interwebs recommend that you take the chuck roast out and put it on a cutting board and cut it there. And that seems to make better sense than trying to cut it while it's in the slow cooker. Although you make less of a mess this way. But Alright, so man's now going to use some tongs. That's probably a better way to do this. While this works, it's probably not the best way to do it. So if your chuck roast is not pork tender, put it on a cutting board, break it apart there, then put it back into the pot. Alright, so this is what we've got. Kind of seems like making a gravy, maybe with a cornstarch slurry and an immersion blender, would make this even more flavorful. But then it would not even be close to being Mississippi pot roast. It'd be a whole nother state. Alright, so let's plate up. And doesn't that look good? And these peppers are also quite delicious. They've taken on a lot of that ranch flavoring. If you're wondering, this is not hot or spicy at all. It seems like it would be after putting 10 peppers and some juice in there. But if you are sensitive to heat, if you can't handle cinnamon gum or a Tic Tac, maybe this is not for you. But what you think initially about it, you think it's probably going to be really spicy and crazy. It's not. Not even close. It's got a really interesting flavor. It's kind of different, and it's really good. So hey, if you like this video, click like. Click subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from us. Check us out at manthat'scooking.com. You can find the full recipe for this video there. And thanks for watching.